Welcome to a very special episode of BaatShaat Sports Show. With me tonight, joining me tonight will be none other than Rashpal Bajwa, the new president of Cricket Canada. But before I can bring him on, those of you that are just starting to join, I'll let you know we'll be taking your comments, questions through the comments. So make sure when you're watching this video on YouTube or Facebook, you are typing those comments, which I can bring up on the screen and ask Mr. Bajwa Saab all your questions. Mr. Bajwa has just recently been elected as the president of Cricket Canada. So for those of you that don't know much about cricket and the setup, cricket in Canada dates back. Earliest reports of cricket being existent in Canada they go all the way back to 1785, and that was first ever cricket games took place in Montreal. The first reference of a cricket game played on an organized basis was back in 1834. So cricket, for some of you people, may be a bit new phenomena in the Canadian circle, but it is definitely not a new thing. It is a minor sport. It is not considered a major sport in Canada, but it is through the efforts of all the volunteers, all the expats, all the immigrants coming into Canada, the cricket is thriving. And the first ever game which was played between clubs, which was also considered an international cricket game, was between Toronto and New York clubs. So that was considered an international cricket game played between two clubs from two different nations. But I think cricket in Canada has grown. Canada has featured in three Cricket World Cups. The Canadian team, last presence they had was in 2011. They haven't featured ever since then, but they have been able to put Canada on the map through Cricket Canada has been able to put Canada on the map, cricket map, through Global T20. I'm going to take a short break. When I get back, I'll have Mr. Bajwa with me. So hang on there and we'll be right back. Hello, sir. Welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Salman. Thank you for giving this opportunity to be on your show.
It's always a pleasure to have you. I know it's a tough job. It's not an easy one to keep making time and doing these. And I think COVID hasn't helped at all.
Yeah, COVID, as you all are going through it, has changed the way we live. Not only the way cricket is going to be played, but the way we live right now. COVID has changed that too. Totally not used to it, but people have to get used to it, and this is going to be the new normal.
Exactly. So the topic today is cricket, COVID, and Canada. And Cricket Canada in some way. So let me start with cricket in general. I talked about cricket has its roots since 1800s in Canada. Why did it never become a prominent sport? What do you think? Even though Britishers brought it to the same place that we live and here as well. Why do you think that happened?
I think not only cricket has been there for a long time. We know that cricket at one time was the national sport of Canada.
Yeah.
At one time, cricket was the national sport, and I think the way cricket grew and the local people got involved into it. I think overall, if you look at cricket. There was an opportunity that today cricket would have been a mainstream sport in Canada. We lost those opportunities in the past. But I think as the sport, as the weather, I think the biggest factor, in my opinion, is the weather. Because we have short seasons. Not many cricketers, not throughout the year. The school programs are not that strong. So there's a lot of factors that I can say that's why the cricket is not part of the mainstream. But I think we can actually become something that other nations have done, like Ireland and Afghanistan.
Yeah, and I think if I'm glad you say the weather part, but soccer also has struggled in general.
Yeah.
Those are two popular, very popular with mass followership. Those two sports, they both struggle. So I think we're not alone in that sense.
No, that's true. I think soccer, if you look at the number of players that are playing in Canada, that's enormous. But still, we still are not anywhere close to hockey or basketball that we have in Canada. I mean, basketball, baseball are now growing in Canada, but hockey is like cricket is back home in India, Pakistan. So I think it's very hard to compete with that sport.
So I think leads me to a question. The reason those two games have thrived is because of the indoor facilities. They could be played inside, right? And they're played through the long winter season. Why did cricket never explore that opportunity? And I'm just throwing it at Cricket Canada.
I think indoor, it all goes down to the facilities that we have. I think cricket as a sport all across the world is not played indoor. I think what we can do is the grassroots level could be taken to the indoors,
Yeah.
have it in the school programs. Once you have it in the school programs, you're playing cricket in gyms like you play soccer, and you get the mass numbers of people getting involved. And once that number happens, then only you can have that. You even have a shot at competing with the major sports like hockey or baseball.
Then and then only you can get to that level is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
So let me go back to the topic we have, which is the COVID. So how do you think how much COVID has impacted the growth of cricket? Has it done enough to impact the growth, or are we in a stale state?
I think this is still debatable. How much impact it's going to have and how much impact it's not going to have. But as a associate country, which is with a very small season, with a very small resources, with very little opportunities that we are losing those opportunities. So, in my opinion, as Cricket Canada, our teams are losing those opportunities to have that growth because now those tournaments are not happening that was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
We were supposed to go to Malaysia in March, which did not happen. We were supposed to go to Malaysia again in August or September, which looks like it's going to be canceled, which is not, not officially it has been canceled, but it will be canceled. So we are losing those opportunities. We're losing the opportunity to grow some more, give some growth to our players that have played in the Under 19 World Cup and get them going for the next level. I think that opportunity, because of COVID, we are losing those opportunities for sure.
So, you talk about these tours and all that. It takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of sponsorship in some ways to put those things together. It's not easy. You've seen at the national level, Pakistan cricket team just lost their contract. With Pepsi, they've struggled to get it back for another year. Where do you find Canada, being it an amateur sport, it's not a professional? Where do you find Canada when it comes to sponsorship opportunity?
You nailed it. If the full nations like Pakistan are feeling the impact of this COVID,
yeah,
what about the country like Canada, where cricket is not even the main sport? We are not competing with sponsorship with the ice hockey. So whatever we have because of COVID, we are not even getting that. Our biggest, if you have noticed in the last few years, we've had GD20, which is getting us into those mainstream media and mainstream sponsorship programs where we can actually tap into those resources. Now we build that product, and now was the time for us to get into the market and get those sponsorships because now we have a product that we can actually sell to people.
Yeah,
I think COVID has done a real loss for us in that field because now we cannot even approach those people. People don't have money. The people don't want to spend. Companies are not spending that money towards the sponsorship. So even if we have the packages ready, we are approaching those people. The answer is let's watch what happens after COVID.
Yeah, I think it's not about being proactive. You can even be reactive because everybody's in that state, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So
sure.
The question that I have is, so where do you see you coming in into this role, being the president? Sponsorship funds are drying up. Future tours are looking very ominous. You're not sure if they'll happen or not. Where do you see cricket in Canada going from here? What is your next 3 to 6 months look like? What do you think where your focus will be?
I think what we can do is when I took over this presidency about 3 weeks ago, the plan that we have is that COVID, the only advantage I feel out of COVID now is that, it has given us that time to prepare. We have to have a proper grassroots program, schools program. This has given us the time to actually make that thing on paper. The things that were supposed to be done, since the season goes on, teams are going in, teams are flying in, people are getting selected. You don't have that time. So the only advantage I see out of it, we can actually set up those programs now and wait for the COVID to finish and start implementing those.
So I think where you're going is, I totally agree with you. Running a season is tough because it comes so quickly and then it goes. So I think what you're saying is COVID is giving you the opportunity to plan.
Yes. I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think new board, it gives them the opportunity to plan it properly, execute it in a fashion where it's more, ROI wise, we can be actually more accountable to our members instead of just doing the things, because when the season goes, there's a lot of things that are not planned because the season comes and goes within 4 months.
So, I'm just going to talk to you about some administrative stuff for Cricket Canada. Why is it that the AGM happens right on the brink of a new season starting? Like, how much planning can the new board do to understand what's out there? Like, why can the months not be shifted? AGM not be shifted to early stages?
I think this year's AGM happened because we were still waiting for COVID to finish and have the AGM, because that is the only one time in a year where the membership gets to talk to each other. Everybody's together.
Oh,
You can plan out the whole year. You can plan your domestic season. You can plan what's going to be happening in the provinces, how the Western, Eastern, Atlantic, and even update on the national team can be given face to face to the membership. So that's why we were waiting for the COVID to finish, but there was no sight of it going away,
no.
and that's why the last possible day that we could extend it to. That's where the AGM happened. It was done on 27th, and I think 30th or 31st was the last day that we could have it, because that's how the bylaw says. We usually have the AGMs usually in February, March. And I think going forward, I'll make sure that these AGMs are happening way earlier than the season starts, so that the new board comes in and has the time to plan these activities in advance.
Yeah. So for those people that are watching, Bajwa Saab has joined us all the way from Vancouver. If you have any questions, make sure you do put those on the comment side. I will bring those up. I'll be opening up the call lines as well. You can see the number up top. You'll be able to call in and ask a question directly with Bajwa Saab. So I'll open that up in a few seconds. But sir, I'm going to go back to COVID. So you talked about, just the planning piece of COVID, right? What do you see as the biggest impact on the national team because of COVID?
I think the national team, it's like any sport or any athlete. Once you are in your touch, you're touch. To get back to that level, you're constantly playing at a level, and you try to peak at a certain tournament that you have in mind, that these are the tournaments coming up. So that's how you plan your activities, and you try to peak at the right time before the tournament. That is definitely going to impact, because a lot of people are not going to be playing cricket for a year.
Absolutely.
That is a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, they would be playing inside the nets and practicing on their own and working on their fitness, but unless you don't play the games, it still matters a lot. So for an athlete to be bound inside four walls and not be able to do that, I think that's going to impact in the long way. But then again, it's going to be it's happening to Virat Kohli, and it's happening to Anderson, and it's nothing new that is happening to the Canadian players.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I'm going to go back to the administrative part. Has there been any communication? Is there a pool of players that you have in mind that you want in supreme fitness or form at all times, so you can call upon them? Is there that planning that is taking place now? Has it happened before?
I think as these players are there, we already have a company, a third party that has got an online training schedule that is going on with these athletes. We haven't totally stopped everything, since we cannot get them on the field and get them in the academies and train them together. We have this company that is monitoring their schedules online, and these are sessions that we have, like Zoom meetings with all these players. This has happened a couple of times, and I think one more is due next month. And these players' performances, what they are doing, 5K runs, 2K runs, and all those exercises and all the program that has been given, these players are being accounted for that.
So what is being delivered through these Zoom sessions?
I think mostly the how to do it, what to take care of, what kind of expectations are there from them, how to report these activities that they have been given, how they are going to be monitored, what they should do, how they should take care of themselves. So any and everything that is part of a program that they can keep themselves healthy and fit, and as soon as these situations are over, because we don't know that Malaysia in August, September is going to happen or not. Yes, we have a feeling, and we have the rumors that it's going to be canceled, but we have to still keep them in touch with the game a little bit, and with their physical fitness, that these guys are fit. And as soon as we get the intimation that the tournament is going to be happening, we can get going with our training programs in full swing.
So, you talked about the fact that, COVID has given you the opportunity to plan better, come together as a board, gel together as a board. So what are some of the priorities that you're going to focus on? The Cricket Canada faces a few challenges at this point.
I think as a Cricket Canada president, my two goals that I want to make sure that happen in the next 2 years is, one is we should have a structured women's cricket leagues all across the country. That is very, very important right now for Cricket Canada's growth. The second is the school program, and that school program, we don't have to just concentrate on GTA. We've already done it enough.
Yeah.
So that we have a successful program that has produced players that has been done successfully in GTA. We just have to take that model, make it a little bit smaller, because that is the biggest province that we have done it, and take it all across the country, starting from BC all the way to Nova Scotia.
So what you're talking about inclusivity, right?
Yes.
Across the board.
I mean, these two programs that I'm saying, that women and junior program, I just don't want to see it in Ontario or BC, the two biggest provinces. I want to see it in Newfoundland. I want to see it in Saskatchewan. I want to see it in Manitoba. So this is the time that we are getting. The directors just recently got their portfolios. So they're working on the plan. So they will be contacting all the provinces, setting up those committees so that we have these programs implemented throughout the country. Not as Cricket Canada, I'm not president for Toronto or BC or for just the two provinces that are producing most of the players. It is that we want to make sure that now the players should start coming from Manitoba. They should start coming from Newfoundland or Saskatchewan or any other small province. If there's a player, we want to tap into it, because we want to get those numbers high.
Yeah.
We don't have the numbers, so we have to get those numbers high. Then only we can have a sustainable Cricket Canada competitive team.
So, one of the key points you talked about, I've been very fortunate to have played cricket in BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Ontario. One of the things I find is, how do you find players, how do you build players when in Ontario they play on turf pitches, and across the country they're playing on matting wickets or they're playing on carpet? How do you bring that uniformity?
I think that is unfortunate because of the geographical size of our country, the demographic, the size of the provinces, the size of people a number of people that are playing. But then again, a player is a player, even if he plays on a turf or plays on a matting. To assess those players, I think you're playing on a turf. When you say that most of these players in Toronto are playing on turf and the rest of the country is basically playing on matting, I think the opportunity should be that we should be able to tap into these talents in these provinces which are playing on mat, and then should be able to train them and give them enough exposure on the turf so that they should be able to compete for a spot in the Canadian team. I think that is eventually the goal. That I think if the technique and talent is there, playing on a turf is not a big deal eventually.
Absolutely, no, I agree with you. But is it a provincial bodies, because there are provincial bodies reporting into Cricket Canada, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Alberta, BC, everybody. Is it their job to build these infrastructures, or is it Cricket Canada's? That's a $1 million question I have.
I think that's a very good question. It is actually starts off with the province.
Yeah.
Cricket Canada is always there for infrastructure help. But it has to start off with the provincial body, because I was president of Cricket BC when a turf field came into BC. So all the legwork, all Cricket Canada is only people of 10 people that are in the board.
Yeah.
So the legwork will have to be done with the provinces. Yes, the expertise, if you want some support, all those factors will be given, all those things will be given by Cricket Canada. But I think the legwork has to be done by the provincial bodies to start off with.
Yeah. You talked about, I'm going to go back to inclusivity. There's one thing that's been hanging on Cricket Canada. I'm going to go there now, on Cricket Canada's head, which has been Cricket Alberta, the issue there. So do we see, a future, hopefully a movement in that, because Alberta also produces a lot of talent.
Yes.
You see, hopefully, and a lot of women's cricket is played there as well. You talked about women's cricket, and Saima Rizwan in particular has been putting a lot of work in. So can they see some hope? Can they see some light at the end of the tunnel?
Definitely. My objective is not only that I am going to be just give me one second.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, Alberta is a big part of Cricket Canada.
Yeah.
So that is, if you say as a president, my job is to get the whole country together.
Yeah.
We already don't have enough players compared to the other nations that play cricket. To get those numbers high, we don't want to lose anybody because of some reason that they're not part of Cricket Canada. Cricket Canada going forward, as a president, I can on your show, or I've actually done a few other shows that this board is going to be very inclusive. We'll try to make sure that everybody gets a fair shot. It is not going to be partial to Alberta or not, and against Saskatchewan or against Newfoundland or against BC or Ontario. This board is going to be very accountable. We will make sure that whatever we do, we should be questioned for that. And we should come back and answer those questions that why we did it and why we did not do it. It should not be because I like Salman and I'm doing something and I don't like somebody else and I'm doing it for him. So Alberta, as you said, is a very big part of Cricket Canada, and I will make sure that I'll try my best to get that situation resolved so that those women and the players that are losing the opportunity to play for that province and this country get it back.
And some are extremely talented. Some have
Yeah.
played, represented Canada as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to go to another question that I have in mind, which is more to do with how does Cricket Canada support these provincial organizations, right? I have a question, a comment here I'm going to take on the screen, which I'll bring it up. But how does Cricket Canada support these provincial organizations? Sanam Iftikhar is saying, we appreciate it, sir. Western Canada needs representation equally, and it should be Canadian representation.
I mean, the representation for sure. Equally, what is the definition of equally? I can debate on that. I will make sure that if a guy deserves a spot in the team, he will be in the team.
Yeah.
But there's no quota system under my presidency. Simple as that. I've heard that word a lot. That because now you are from BC and we will have more players in the Canadian team. I'm not for it. I'm a sportsman by heart. I've played that sport at a very high level, not maybe cricket, but other sport. I cannot betray the sport that is happening on the field. So people who deserve, there will be clear pathways. There will be fair selections. There will be equal opportunities. And if after those things, you deserve a shot, you will be in the Canadian team. That I can guarantee. That you will not be deprived of a chance because you're from BC or from Alberta or from Saskatchewan, because usually the impression is that most of the team is from Toronto, but that impression will be the people who deserve the shot, they will get the equal opportunity as far as we are concerned.
So how does the selection structure of Cricket Canada work? So I'm going to go there for those that may not know. How does it work?
Selection process, let's put it this way. The Western has a Western T20, and this is going to be, again, something that is going to be looked at again. There are a lot of flaws in it. As we speak, the new selection panels are coming into play. New model that we will follow that makes sure that all people get the equal opportunity will be disclosed to people. It will be discussed with the provincial bodies. And I mean, as we know, there's a Western T20 where all these teams participate. There should be emerging team tournaments, Summerfest, national championships. So all these things are going to be streamlined and communicated to the provinces in advance, not that 2 days before the tournament. So we will make sure that these tournaments and the selection processes are very transparent and people know about it and they avail the whole opportunity that they get out of it.
I'm going to add a comment here. Khwaja Mustafa Rashid, all the way from Cricket Saskatoon, is saying, Bajwa, Rashpal Sahib, I will be keeping an eye on your team selection process, history of Canadian team. You know where he's going.
And they should. I mean, at the end of the day, if Cricket Canada team does well, or I mean, as a cricketer in Canada, we all should keep an eye on what kind of teams are selected. That way, we get more followers, and they make us more accountable.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the call lines for those that are joining us, the call lines are open. You are more than welcome to call 306-201-8925. Call through WhatsApp, and I can add your call directly or question directly to the show, or you can send us a comment as well. So I'm going to go to the selection again. What has been historically the method of picking a selection committee for cricket?
All right. Right now, we have sent the emails to all the provinces. As far as the selection policy is concerned, it's on Cricket Canada website. The selection policy is that the selectors are selected from different regions based on number of teams that are there. One from BC, one from Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, one from Ontario, one from Atlantic. These selectors have a chair, and these guys are the ones who are qualified. These selectors have to be played national level, either Canada, IPL, CPL, Ranji Trophy, or some domestic tournament in a full nation countries. So the qualifications are there for the selectors, and these people are supposed to be qualified. The qualified people can only get these jobs, and these people select a certain amount of number of pool of players, and those players will be playing in the national championship, and all the selectors are going to be there and selecting the teams.
So I love where you're going. Mustafa Bhai is coming back and saying history of Canadian team is 11 players from Toronto to Alberta to BC. Is that going to change?
I mean, if it's 16 players deserve it from Toronto, I will put 16 players from Toronto. And if 16 deserve it from BC, I will put 16 in BC. We have to start respecting these qualified selectors also. We will make sure we give this opportunity to the provinces to nominate these people from your regions.
Yeah.
And not because we want them to select the players from their region.
Yeah.
We want these people that can be fair and select the best team that can represent Canada and get us the results that we want.
So you're taking me somewhere, sir, which I'm gonna be so bold to ask. Nepotism has been an issue in Canadian system. I'm gonna put my guy there. I have some loyalties to fulfill. He's gonna do what I ask. Is that going to? How are you gonna manage that? It is very much in existence.
I think Salman, nepotism. The way you said, my guy is there, I have to put my guy there. We can control it and slowly eliminate it. Unless one thing I can guarantee that this board is going to be a board. It's not going to be me running the teams or it's me getting the teams. This board is going to be accountable. And we will come back. We are not going to shy away from your questions next time when you get us on the show, and you can ask us those questions on regular basis. We will be on media and we will be meeting these people on a regular basis because we have the policies. I just want to educate the Canadian cricketers. We have everything on the website, the policies, how these things are supposed to be done. We will make sure that these things are done as per those policies. And if we don't do it, you have the right to get hold of us and say, how come these things are not getting done the way you have already advertised on the website? Yeah. And anytime you have a suggestion, anybody, there's always the comment sections there. You can leave it because at the end of the day, the board is not a full-time professional people running the board.
Absolutely.
So we are always looking for improvement.
So, a couple of things I appreciate you being so upfront and honest about, because a couple of things I know historically following Cricket Canada, I've talked about two things. One was, the selection piece. There's been that feeling of nepotism, feeling of favoritism and all that stuff. Second thing you were able to answer was the Alberta piece, that you're hoping the new board will bring some solution to that issue and allow the Alberta players to become inclusive part of this setup. The third thing I'm going to go to, which has been very much talked about before the AGM happened, has been talked about for many years, is the vote manipulation piece. Like when AGMs arrive, it seems there's a lot of vote manipulation that happens between different club presidents, people with the power to vote, which allows them to pick candidates of their liking, which in turn affects. Is that going to change? Do you see that existing now? Is it very much a figment of our imagination, or you think it doesn't exist? It exists. What do you think? I'm just throwing an open comment here.
I did not actually fully understand your question. If you're talking about what happens in club voting,
club votings leading all the way up to Cricket Canada.
I think what we have to understand is, as provincial boards, we have to start getting more accountable too, and run the provincial boards a little bit more professionally. Get the governance of the provincial bodies in check the way we want to. Because end of the day, it is the membership, how Saskatchewan is going to be run, how BC is going to be run, how Alberta is going to be run. Is not under Cricket Canada's control. That how your governance is going to happen as far as the voting structure is concerned. Once it comes down, the membership part of it, and you come to Cricket Canada, that is very specific. It is in black and white in our bylaws that how this is going to happen. But how the club structure, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm in BC. I have a club. Voting happens there too, and the local leagues happen that way. But I think that is a very long shot. But then again, unless we don't start raising those questions, getting it out, nothing's going to happen. So I hope I haven't shed any light on this, but I think that is something that should be at the back of our mind when we are even going to our own club meetings or our league meetings and try to get those things resolved there. I think
Yeah.
cricket doesn't have that much of manpower to go down to the club
Absolutely.
level.
No, I really you took me where I wanted you to go. Was basically I think provincial bodies have the power to change that.
Yes.
Cricket Canada is just the supporting agent, right? They're
Yes.
there to support, but the real change will happen at the provincial. You've run Cricket BC for a while, so you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
It takes a lot of work to do to make that happen. So I'm going to go to the last two questions that I have. One, I'm going to take you as we talked about COVID-19 giving you the opportunity. I think that's a very positive way to look at it. Cricket Canada, the opportunity to plan better.
Yes.
Yeah, you talked about. So do you see much cricket happening in the next 2 to 3 months? Do you, because there's now a talk of COVID coming back, the
Yes.
second coming. So where do you think how is that going to impact your small season, short season?
I think COVID, to start off with, is based on your provincially. It's going to be different from every province to every province. So when we talk about Cricket Canada as a whole, some of our members are already playing organized cricket. They're playing league games. And there might be some interprovincial tournaments also because those provinces are COVID free for a while, and there's no sign of any increase in numbers of COVID cases.
Yeah.
As far as bigger provinces are concerned, like Alberta, BC, or Saskatchewan, or even Ontario, I don't know about Saskatchewan, but I think in BC, I don't see any organized cricket happening this year.
So Saskatchewan has started some of it, T10s and T20, not only
Those
cases.
cricket, see, the club cricket, the practice cricket is happening. Organized cricket by a league, a provincial body, hasn't happened yet. We had a couple of games in Victoria, and we are now, city is again coming back and saying that it might stop. So this is all based on not on us. It's going to be based on how the provincial bodies work with the health authorities. And I think we don't have much control over that.
I'm getting a call, so I don't know who's with us on the call. Who do we have here? Hello? Hello? Saibaji, hi, can you hear me? Sir, can you hear Saibaji?
No, I can't hear her.
Oh, he can. I don't think he can hear you right now, Saibaji. Let me see if I can connect this quickly. So Rashpalji could be. Yeah, we're still live. Yeah, can I call you back? Okay, you're more than welcome to put your question on the comments. Okay, Savaji was calling just to make sure if I was off the show or not yet, but she's so Savaji, if you're watching, you're more than welcome to put a comment. Second question that I have is, we talked about Alberta, we talked about women's cricket. I was going to. So, what is your plan? Like, we've heard a lot about women's cricket. We've seen women's competing since 2018 or 2017 as well at a high level. Where do you see women's cricket go, especially with the men's cricket sort of in jeopardy right now?
I mean, as far as cricket is concerned, I'm not going to talk. When I talk about COVID cricket not happening, it's not happening for men and women. But as far as the plan that is concerned for the women, I'm a big advocate of women cricket. I had the portfolio in 2019 when the women team went to USA for the qualification of the World Cup. What I want to see is a structured cricket for women all across Canada. There is cricket for women in pockets. There might be some in GTA, there might be some in Alberta, and in some parts of Alberta, there was some cricket in Victoria. What we want to have is that a structured cricket all across Canada, so that a woman that comes in, a kid that wants to play, a girl that wants to play cricket should have an outlet. Right now, as a young adult guy, you walk into any province in this country, you will find cricket. But there is no provision for women in most of the provinces.
So
It could be made as a mandate part of the league where there is a lower division where the juniors are playing with the girls and all that stuff. I mean, this is something that we are gonna discuss and maybe come up with a program that can be implemented all across Canada, so that there is some cricket happening for women all across Canada in all the provinces and all the cities, as small as it could be. And that's the only way we can get the numbers of the women going up.
absolutely, absolutely. So so far what I've seen from Cricket Canada, the support is there at a national level. At provincial level, it's not being translated. So has Cricket Canada done enough policy-wise to implement the support of women's cricket at the provincial level?
I think, unfortunately, no. I'm going to be very honest on that. As Cricket Canada, we have not done. And I blame myself also. I've been part of that board for 4 years, and I'm not just going to blame because I'm not blaming the president that's gone. I even had the portfolio for a while. As a body, we haven't done enough for the women cricket, and the reason is because first of all, usually it's based on how your men's team is doing. So we tried to put all our eggs in one basket to
Yeah.
get that ODI status and then get everything going. But I think that's not the way. I think everything has to go on its own. Everybody should get the fair share, and you cannot expect that you will get better in one product and start making the money, and then you will invest into other
Yeah.
products that you can have. So I think going forward, I think women will get the fair share what men have been getting. Then again, people have to understand it's Cricket Canada. It's not BCCI. The funding is limited. We will need more volunteers. One thing I want to do a public call, even if you want to say that we will need people to work to actually execute all the plans that we have. We can have all the plans unless we don't have the buy-in from the provinces, from the cricketers of those provinces that they want to do it. Board can make all the policies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Volunteers will have to come from the provinces itself. Yes, we will make sure that the equal opportunity is given. It's not that we make a policy and it's implemented only in GTA. It will be implemented all across Canada.
Yeah. Well, I think, I appreciate, sir, you've been so upfront and honest about so many things that I know it's coming into an organization in a new role. You've been part of it, new role. There'll be definite challenges. Women cricket is definitely something that everybody's ignored across the board, and the potential is huge. When Sanam Iftikhar talked about the equality, that's what I probably mentioned. So I think I'm hoping under your leadership things will go in the right direction. So, any last comments for our viewers before we wrap up?
I just want to say, first of all, thank you to you, BaatShaat, a great show. I've seen your show before a couple of times. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. To people itself, we will do the right thing. Just be patient. I'm not asking for patience for 4 years or 5 years. Just be patient for next 6 months, 8 months, or 10 months. Give us the opportunity. And what I'm looking for cricketers all across the country is that we will need your support to run those programs. We will be making a call for all those volunteers, all those ex-cricketers that have played for their provincial bodies or that they have played for the national bodies. We will be calling upon you because you are the experts that we have in our country that can actually execute the programs that we will make. So right now, COVID has made us go back into our house. Just be safe and be patient that this game that we all love will be on the fields pretty soon. And hope to see you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you taking the time and sitting down. I appreciate your kind words about BaatShaat as well. We're still in their infancy stage, still learning, still lots to learn. And like I told you before we started the show, Farooq Siddiqui has been a fabulous support for us from Sports Trend. We're trying to walk in his footsteps and hopefully learning something. So I'm going to ask you $1 million question because I represent that small segment. Broadcasting media has done a fabulous job for a lot of organizations. Where do you find Cricket Canada going in terms of using social media, using broadcasting, using some of those channels to promote cricket a bit more? Is that
I
part of the
think
plan?
I think social media you will see in the near future. Mohammed Sheikh, who was the senior team director, I have given him this portfolio, which is going to handle the website, social media, and Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff. And I think any board that has to be successful now, we say we want to develop women's cricket, we want to do junior program. Unless we don't take the support of the media and spread that word, it's not going to happen. So media will play a big role in this board's administrative 2 years.
So you feel that there's an opportunity for Cricket Canada to grow from that, right?
Yes.
Oh, I'm
I mean,
sorry. Yeah. No, I appreciate that. A question has come in. Please tell us what Cricket Canada is going to do about racism in cricket, systemic racism.
I think we have to be proactive about it. We are not one of those. We all like in personally. I feel that this is something that we cannot just sweep it under the rug. There
Yeah.
has to be uh, a systematic approach to it that this is not happening, and we should raise our voice against it as a Cricket Canada president and as a person who loves the sport. I am totally in favor of all those movements that are happening right now. Totally support them. And Cricket Canada's policies are in line with all the policies that all the systems where racism is not acceptable. And I think that should be something that should be everybody's food of thought that this is something that is not acceptable, and what has happened in the past, people should be uh, not repeating the same thing. And at the end of the day, I mean, we all are in a beautiful country which calls itself home of multiculturalism, and we
Yeah.
should all be able to live and thrive in this society together.
Absolutely, absolutely. I totally agree with that. I appreciate that, sir. Thank you so much for the time you give me tonight, and for the viewers as well. And I think the hope I have through the show tonight, I hope we can find a solution for Alberta. We can find a solution for cricket, women's cricket. We can find a solution to take Cricket Canada forward, create that perception of a body that truly represents Canadians when it comes to cricket. And I think under your leadership, I look forward to that. Once again, thank you so much for joining tonight. It has been a pleasure. I'm getting one call. I'm gonna take that. See if you can actually hear. Who do we have here?
Sanam.
Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear.
Yeah,
I can hear.
Salman, you have a question for Mr. Bajwa.
Hi, sir. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear her. I don't know if she
Salman,
can hear me.
we can hear you. Go ahead and tell your question. Ask your question.
Okay. So I just have one question for him, which I really want him to answer, if he can.
Go ahead.
We know that my actual question was initially that I posted over there that Eastern Canada has always been overrepresented for women's cricket. Being the president of Saskatchewan Women Cricket League over here in Saskatchewan and representing Western Canada on my part for now, what would you guys will be actually implementing for provincial bodies to acknowledge us and give us a chance to play on a provincial level as well as national level? Because the provincial bodies do not provide us enough support to get all the way up to the national level. That is why all the women team in Canada, they are overrepresented by the Toronto people.
Thank you, sir. I'm gonna have Bajwa Saab respond to you. Thank you so much, Salman. Sir, over to you.
She's got 3-4 points in one. So first of all, as far as the representation is concerned, it's going to be my same answer. I mean, they will get the fair opportunity. They will get the same amount of exposure as the men. So if she's talking about opportunity from Cricket Cricket Canada usually has a Western T20 for men. There will be definitely a Western T20 for women, which will be the provinces of Alberta, BC, and Saskatchewan, Manitoba. So that opportunity from Cricket Canada will be given, and we will. And my plan is to have all these tournaments together so that we can have the national selector for women and men and everybody together at that time. So opportunity-wise, that is going to be there. I just want to say one thing before I think I'm taking too much time off your show.
No, absolutely. Go for it. Yeah, we have time.
One thing is there that we...
Hi, Salman, can you hear me now?
Oh, Samaji, 1 second. Bajwa Sahib is talking. I'll take your question in a few seconds. Go ahead,
yeah,
sir.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we are planning a program all across Canada because I will be still leading the HP program in where we want to somehow have some collaboration with the provincial bodies to run provincial academies where we can train our women, junior, and senior high performance girls, boys, and men. So the first step of that is going to be coaching, which is going to be happening, which was supposed to happen in April, May. Because of COVID, it has been postponed now. Now we are trying to draft a program where we can actually trying to do it online if we can, but which is very difficult. The resources you have to use in that, and then again train the people that way. So that is one thing that training wise we will have training in all the provinces for these women, men, and juniors that are going to be part of high performance from this provincial standpoint of view. That you will have about 6, 7, 10, depending on how many numbers there will be. So that is one of the plans that we are going to have, and women's are going to be included in that.
Absolutely. So you can only imagine the interest of women in cricket. Saimaji is waiting on the line. Saimaji, Bajwa Saab can hear you. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, sir. First of all, congrats on the new position.
Thank
really
you,
looking forward to see the changes, which especially in women's cricket, because we've been waiting for, as you know, for a long, long time. And I think this board will help us in future to develop the women's cricket. I've met you before, long time ago in BC. I know that you'll help us a lot in future. My question is, I think it's right to say that we need a women's representative representing, women's cricket and Cricket Canada board. There used to be a women's committee before. However, that was it was not officially done, and nothing has been done after that. There was qualifiers 2 years ago, and next year there's going to be a qualifiers against USA, and we want to plan ahead from now on how we're gonna approach that. So if there's anything you guys are planning for future to have women's representing women's and for women's cricket from Cricket Canada board. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you, Samaji. Appreciate that. Sir, he'll answer that. Thank you, sir. $1 million question for you.
No, that's an excellent question. And Sam has got an excellent point. A woman should be there to represent a woman. And as we speak, I just want to say that this is something that the board is actually looking at right now.
Yeah.
How are we going to do it? We just recently appointed Mr. David Liverman as vice president. He is in the governance, and he is looking at how we can incorporate going forward for this year. We are looking at it, that a woman should be there to represent the woman. And this committee that Sama is talking about, I am well aware of that. That committee also is going to be in place. So women are going to be taking those roles where they will be making sure that these things are happening all across the country, and they're represented from all the provinces. So rest assured that I will make sure that women are taken care of the same way men or junior are taken care of in this country.
And I'm a big proponent of the fact that women can do a better job than men anyway. So if they run their own thing, they will do a much better job.
Yeah, at least we should let them do their own thing.
Absolutely.
I totally agree with Sama that a woman
Absolutely.
should be there representing the woman, and that's how the rest of the board across the world are going. And Cricket Canada is no different. We are actually exploring the ideas and the opportunities how we can incorporate that into this current board and going forward in Cricket Canada board on
So
a
I think,
regular basis.
how Cricket Canada supports women will be a big test for your management
Right.
team. How you tackle the Alberta issue will be a big test for your team as well, right? I think
I think
those are two.
I will not have any comments right now. That something that is going on. Once I can just assure people that my intention. I've already spoken to everybody, and my intention is to resolve the issue as soon as possible
Yeah.
and get the cricket going in that province rather than division and people not getting representation. So I mean that is actually
Exactly.
my number one top priority right now, Alberta, to
Yeah.
resolve Alberta issue.
And I think third one is, which a lot of people from your part and my part would agree, is the selection, the mechanics of how a team is selected, mechanics of how it's presented, and all that. So I think those will be the big challenges coming your way.
I
Sure.
think selection, if we give them a proper opportunity and equal opportunity, when I say proper opportunity, it's not one game selection that people come and see those two people and then select the people that they want to. There should be recognized tournaments that should be happening on a regular basis, and people should be performing in those tournaments. And if people are performing, they should get an opportunity. And it should not be somebody just because they have a name, they should be in the team. I mean, it's not going to be easy. I'm just telling you, Salman, it's not going to be easy, but we
Yeah.
will try our best.
Yeah. No, I thank you so much for that, sir. I know these are some tough questions, but you know what? This is a time to talk, because change only happens when people talk, right? So I think, and this is, where I sit, this is my opportunity to ask you questions, and I appreciate you taking those and answering those as well. That's all I had. I appreciate people that called and asked their questions, the comments as well. There's some comments I couldn't take, but a lot of comments I did take. So I thank you, sir, for joining us tonight. I look forward to talking to you again in 3 months' time to see how far you've come. So,
Yeah.
part of my job is to make sure you're doing your job, and then I can come and ask you those questions as well. Not that I'm paid for, but this is, somebody who's a follower of cricket. I love doing that. Thank you again. Anything you want to say before we end the show tonight?
No, thanks a lot. And we will be back. Not only me, I will make sure that the people who are going to be doing the jobs, they will be back here answering those tough questions and being accountable for what we are supposed to do. And we're not going to be shying away from the media, because we want to be transparent, inclusive, and want to be fair. This is the three things that I have it in my mind, anything that we do. So thank you very much for the show, and looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That was Mr. Bajwa Saab. Thank you, sir, for joining all the way from from Vancouver, not Montreal, Vancouver. It has been a pleasure, and we'll talk again in a few months' time. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
So that was Rashpal Bajwa from all the way from Vancouver, the president of Cricket Canada, joining us. It was a pleasure talking to him. He was very candid about some of the questions that we asked. You guys have more questions, please do leave those in the comment section. I can go back to the Bajwa Saab later on and get you some answers. The call line was working fine. You can hear Bajwa Saab talk, but the answers are available on the video. You can go back and review them. BaatShaat goes live with sports shows and talk shows on YouTube as well as Facebook. So make sure you like our page, subscribe our page. And this presentation, the cricket COVID and Canada, was brought to you by in collaboration with UZ Sports, which is called. Make sure you do check out their page as well. Once again, thank you so much for watching tonight, being part of the show, sending in your questions. It was such a wonderful pleasure talking to President of Canada Cricket Canada, which is Rashpal Bajwa, and hopefully we'll get him again in a couple of months or 3 months' time to see how far Cricket Canada has really come. Have we, made any progress? We're all followers of cricket. We're all passionate about it. I want to go back and talk to them again 2 to 3 months' time and find out how far we've come. This is something on us. We have to keep doing our parts. We can't just leave it all to Cricket Canada. At every level, we have to do our part to grow cricket and do things the right way. The power is in our hands to change things. This is a change that has come in Cricket Canada. We have to support it. How we support it is by doing things right our way, and then only results will be better. The outcome will be better. That's all I can say. I'm going to leave you with that. It has been a pleasure talking to you again, bringing you this show again through the BaatShaat channel. And please keep following us, keep liking us. Check out UZ Sports, our sponsor for this particular episode, and we will talk to you fairly soon. That's it from my side. Have yourself a wonderful night, and we'll see you again. Good night.